Hey guys, I'm here with Dalton. What's up? You just had like a show here at the Mint. Talk about it.
Yeah, it was dope. We came and we played some fun music, and the crowd was way bigger than I thought it would be. And yeah, it was a great time.
Awesome. And you have a new album coming out, Nobody's Home.
Yes.
Talk about what the process was like coming up with the songs for it, how you put it together.
Yeah, it was actually a bit of an interesting process because we ended up writing two albums. The first one we wrote and we recorded, and then we took a listen back to it and we were like, nah, that's not it. And so I came out here to LA and wrote with a lot of people and then got the final songs together. And it was a bit of an arduous process, but it ended up working out pretty well.
And when you go to like write your songs, what does that kind of look like for you? Do you have to be in a room by yourself? Do you need to be surrounded with people? What does that look like for you?
Well, normally if I'm just writing by myself, I don't like set out to write anything. Like it'll just be 4 a.m. and I'll be like, oh, there's a sadness or there's a happiness, and then I'll just go and write it. But I've kind of started to get used to writing with other people. I didn't really do that a lot before, but with this album, we did that. And it's definitely different because normally when I would write songs by myself, I wouldn't like press myself for ideas. I would just, if I had one, I would do it. But it's weird. It's like a bit of a competition between like you and the other person that you're writing with. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
What would you say is like the overall theme of Nobody's Home?
I don't know. It's a lot happier than most of my stuff, and I think that the whole nobody's home thing kind of denotes that. It's like not necessarily that there is no one present, but we have the whole "I'm nobody, who are you?" and it's if I'm nobody and nobody's home, it means I'm home. So that's kind of what it meant to me when I wrote that. So.
Now talk about your journey, because you know you've had quite the journey coming to this point and releasing your first album as a single artist. What has that journey been like for you?
It's been wacky, wild, and nuts. I've been, in several bands. I tried a lot of things that didn't work. And then I went onto a TV show, and then a lot more people started paying attention, which is nice. But yeah, I've toured a lot. I've played in front of a lot of people. It's been very, very long, but I'm glad that we're finally here.
Speaking of that TV show, it's coming back here. It sounds like. What is that? Do you have mixed emotions about that? What are your feelings?
I mean, I love the show. It's, I always say, I mean, when we didn't know the show was coming back, and then people would ask me, like, oh, I'm going to do a singing competition show, which one should I do? I would always tell them, wait for Idol to come back, because it's the one that really gives you the most freedom.
Right.
You get to say what you want. You get to sing what you want to sing. You get to look how you want to look. And with the other shows, you don't necessarily, it's not really like that. I'm glad that it's coming back for all of the people that get to benefit from it. But it was nice to have been on like what was the last season, and now it's just like I can't say that anymore.
Different,
I just say season 15 now.
It
doesn't
feels
have
the last season of Fox, I guess you could say.
Right. It's a bit of a mouthful, though.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, you're kind of midway through your tour. Got about 4 more locations, I think, to go or so.
Maybe.
We'll see. Are you going to extend it?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, we'll see. What
We'll see.
what has been the most fun thing that you've been able to do while on this tour?
So we went to Disneyland yesterday.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yes.
The House on Cliffs manager, Peggy, got the hookup. And we were all able to go to Disneyland and walk around and have a wallop of a time. Any
favorite rides?
Space Mountain I love. Yes. But I was sick yesterday, and so we got all the way to the front of Space Mountain, and I was like, I'm going to throw up, and then I had to bail.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I love the Winnie the Pooh ride, though, too. And I did get to ride that one,
so
which
cute.
was awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
What's been the most challenging thing about being on tour?
Eating is tough. I forget to do that all the time, as you saw.
We just saw.
Yeah, I had to not do the interview for a little bit because I had to eat pizza or I would pass out.
But he got ranch with the guy, so
I did.
It's okay.
I did. Yeah, like organizing an eating schedule, because I forget when I'm working. I just forget that I haven't eaten until my body is like, oh, we don't have fuel anymore.
Like dying.
Bye. Yeah. But I think that's the hardest part, really. But everything else is a cakewalk, totally.
Absolutely. So I asked some of your fans last night if they could ask you any question, what would their questions be? And I actually got a really interesting question about your tour.
Yeah.
And they said, because social media and phones in general are just like everywhere these days, is it different for you being on stage and having everyone's phone being out all the time and not really being there? They're just on their phones?
You know, I actually have gotten fairly lucky with the crowds at my shows because it's a mixed age range. So, I mean, there may be, you know, a few people in the crowd that have their phones out, but that hasn't been like a major annoyance for me just because we have such a diverse crowd that a lot of them don't, you know, have their phones out. But I can imagine, like, if it was just to see people with phones, it could be a little bit disenchanting for an artist just to be like, because you're talking. My thing is, when I go to concerts, I don't touch it just because you
want to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I know that my iPhone recording is not going to be as good as like everyone else's iPhone recording, so I just kind of have never seen the point in it. But some people just like to do that. And what is one thing you'd love to tell your fans, you know, for all of them watching here? What's one thing you want them to know about you? One thing I want them to know about me? Oh gosh, I don't know. That I want you all to stay hydrated and to eat regularly. Couldn't think of anything. Sorry. That's okay. We'll go with it. All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been nice speaking with you. Likewise.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.